Yeah, drink in the backyard where barbecuing.
Tim McGraw has better songs. Don't worry about it. Anyways, welcome back to the show, everyone. This is Cryptid.
I'm sorry, are you advocating for country music? I'm sorry.
Don't Take the Girl by Tim McGraw is one of the saddest songs I've ever heard in my entire life, and I will die on that fucking hill. Anyways, welcome to Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I'm your host, Dave, joined as always by the beautiful Sarge. How's it going, buddy?
Hello.
Hi.
Non-country fan, Sarge the Destroyer.
I'm not a country fan, okay? Tim McGraw has some bangers, but that's neither here nor there. All right?
I'm sure he has a lot of bangers as he's putting nails into that large cross he's going to burn later.
Oh, dude.
No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't do that, but his fans definitely do. No, I'm being mean. I'm being very mean. I don't actually mean that. I actually know a lot of people who are country fans. It is lost on me why they like it, but there are some country, like I like some country music.
Dude, Garth Brooks, The Thunder Rolls. Come on, dude. Rodeo?
No, I've never even once considered listening to a Garth Brooks song on purpose, but I do like some Zac Brown band from time to time. If they can be considered country, I don't know if they're considered.
I don't know. I don't know.
They're up there. They always do country stuff.
I don't know it's country anymore. I know that there was that weird resurgence in like the mid 2000s of like the stomp clap, like folk kind of music going. I don't know if that's.
Oh God, I hate that so much.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? The boom claps.
Like the Lumineers.
Yeah.
The Lumineers is a crime against music.
I'm not arguing with you. I completely agree.
They had one drum and a clap, and that's all the only instruments they needed besides shouting.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like Zac Brown band, I don't mind. Obviously you can't possibly not love Johnny Cash.
Yeah. The outlaw stuff.
Waylon Jennings, like the outlaw stuff is just.
Yeah. For anyone, this is a conversation that was pre-recording and it just kind of flowed into the beginning of this episode. But anyway, Sarge, how are you doing, bud? You looking good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I saw Ministry this weekend on Friday. It was a wonderful show. Filter opened, and then Ministry, and then Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Who is immortal, I think. Him and Al Jorgensen probably drink from the same virgin's blood. And Rob Zombie as well, actually, now that I think about it. Pretty much the only person who was showing any age whatsoever was the lead singer of Filter, and he's wearing it well. Also found out his brother is the T-1000. So that's badass. I did not know his brother was, what's his name, Robert Patrick.
Really?
Yeah, that's his brother, and apparently he's like come out on stage a few times. My partner in crime, Maynard, told me that. I had no idea.
I had no idea either.
It's very cool. Yeah. But yeah, man, they fucking killed it like they always do. I saw them in Mansfield. What happens is every time I go to a show at Xfinity Center, I don't have like a huge social media following, but for some reason there's always like one person who was like, oh shit, I was at that show too. And every once in a while they'll like find me at the show, and it's great. It's like the coolest thing because it's so weird to me that someone I've never met knows who I am.
You got fans, bud. You got fans.
I don't want to say that. I feel like that would be like an arrogant thing for me to say. Like, oh, I have fans.
Dude, you got like 60,000 followers on TikTok. You have fans. Now, true, a lot of them are women who are hitting on you consistently, which is bonkers. But you have fans. It's
bonkers? What am I, a goblin?
Well, no, I didn't mean that.
I know what you meant. I'm just kidding. I know exactly what you meant. I'm just messing with you. I really it's the coolest thing in the world to run into somebody who like appreciates the weird stupid things that I do to entertain myself.
Yeah, that's rad.
And others on the internet.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you had a good time. I saw Rob Zombie once, and this was years ago, like 2002 Ozfest or whatever the fuck, and he puts on a fucking wild show. Like,
oh yeah,
it's really good.
And he's from Massachusetts, so it makes it so much better because he gets it.
It's like a hometown show almost.
Yeah. I think he said he's from Haverhill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his brother too.
I spent the singer of Power Man 5000.
Yeah, Spider Zombie.
I love when the younger siblings of bigger bands start their own bands. I'm not saying they're piggy, like they're not like riding their coattails, but
no.
Power Man 5000 is a great example of like a younger brother of a more famous like star doing something. But then you have Edema, the one-hit wonder nu metal band, who's the lead singer of that band is the brother of the lead singer of Korn. And
really,
yeah. If you couldn't tell by listening to any Edema song, it is like straight up.
Honestly, I've never heard of them. So
they have one song and it's really fun to sing.
I'll probably recognize this song. Speaking of Korn, I'm going to see them next weekend with my daughter.
Good. I hope they play all that dubstep shit.
I mean, Gojira is opening, and that's really the draw there. I mean, I'm going to see Korn because I appreciate them. But Gojira is really where it's at.
All right, Sarge.
All right. Sorry. I derailed the show talking about music as I do from time to time.
It happens. I mean, you go to a lot of shows, I go to shows too, but they're not shows that anyone wants to hear. It's usually like grind bands that are called like hate, fuck, visceral shit. Like no one wants to see.
Chainsaw guts, fuck.
Yeah. Every band has a 15-minute set, and within that 15 minutes they play 103 songs because all their songs are 15 seconds long.
It's kind of like what is it? What's the name of that band that has Scott Ian in it?
Anthrax,
Soldiers of Doom, or something like that.
Oh yeah,
no, it's I forget
Stormtroopers of Death.
Oh yeah, SOD. Yeah.
All right, Sarge. Today we are going to be covering two of my favorite topics to cover.
Country music.
Nope. Native American legends and cryptids. Specifically, we're going to be heading to what is now known as LaFleur County, Oklahoma, to talk about one of the greatest battles in American history between the Choctaws and a foe that I will not reveal to you because fuck you, that's why.
That was aggressive.
Well, I thought you put up more of a fight. No. Whenever we cover Native American legends and folklore, I always like to preface the episode with, I am not a historian. As far as I know, Sarge, you are not a historian.
Not even close.
Yeah, I'm also not what some would describe as a detailed researcher, but we always do like to cover these topics with sensitivity and respect. And even though we will be cracking jokes and talking shit like we always do, just know that this shit talking is done in the most respectful way. That's
where it's gentle shit.
Exactly. All right, Sarge, you ready to dive in? Thumbs up. Okay.
Bring it.
Okay, so before we get into the actual conflict, I want to talk about the Choctaw real quick. The Choctaw Nation, originally hailing from the southeast United States, were renowned for their skills as warriors and hunters. They were like the best to ever fucking do it. They had a very sophisticated military organization, a well-defined system of ranks. They put a very strong emphasis on discipline and were known as some of the absolute best military strategists. Like, they were just super well respected, like, in this regard. Awesome. They even fought in the American Revolution for the side of the British, which
good for them.
Well, here's what I was like I would too, considering what happened next, and that is sadly that not long after the war, the Choctaws' way of life completely got turned upside down.
Yeah.
And that change came in the 1830s when the United States government instated the Indian Removal Act, which forcibly removed the Choctaw from their native lands to what is now Oklahoma. This forced removal is what we know as the Trail of Tears. So, not the greatest point in American history.
Hell.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about. We're not going to, like, we know what the Trail of Tears is. We're not going to talk about it. It was fucking awful. So we're not. If
you don't know, Google it because we don't want to talk about it.
We're not going to dive into that, but just know that it's estimated that during this forced migration, almost a quarter of the Choctaw population died. So
fucking hell.
Yeah. So the Choctaw that survived this horrific ordeal are now having to, like, adapt to a completely new way of life. Their numbers were dramatically reduced. They're now on unfamiliar land. They've been stripped of their traditional hunting grounds, holy sites, resources. Wasn't a great time for them,
That's fair.
Yeah, but they got their warrior spirit in them, and they persisted. I was going to say thrived, but I live in the future, so I know that that's not.
Yeah.
I'm saying that they survived. Now, by the 1850s, the Choctaw had been living in Oklahoma for about 20 years. And though it was hard at first, they managed like a degree of stability. They had their own constitution, elected officials, and system of like laws and courts to uphold those laws. Things were going good, or like as good as they can.
Yeah, good as can be expected given the situation.
Yeah. Now that is until mysterious raids started happening on Choctaw settlements and farms within the region. Now, unknown and unseen assailants were sneaking into the villages and farms. They were stealing livestock, crops, and some reported that women and children were being taken from their homes and vanishing into the wilderness without a trace. And these raids, like, they seem to like defy any explanation. No one ever heard anything. No one ever saw anything. They don't know if these raids were happening during the day, at night. All they know is that it's like these things and people were there, and then they weren't.
Wow.
Yeah. So as the numbers of like raids and missing people rose, the Choctaw finally had enough and decided we have to do something. Like we've already lost like way too much, and we need to like protect the people that we have. So they assembled an elite group of fighters known as the Light Horsemen. Now the Light Horsemen are like the fucking like, they're like the Navy SEALs of the Choctaw Nation. It's like a group of like highly skilled warriors and trackers, and they were chosen for their bravery, strength, wilderness skills, survival skills, and obviously like their fighting skills. And it was their job to track down the raiders and confront them. And leading the Light Horsemen on their raid of the raiders was a man named Joshua LaFleur. He was a well-respected member of the tribe, known for his wisdom, courage, and he's a mix of Choctaw and French, which is obviously how we got the name Joshua. That's not like a Choctaw name.
Right. Well, LaFleur also kind of gave that away.
Yeah, and also like as you remember, this is taking place in LaFleur County, Oklahoma. So like the LaFleur family is like a well-known like family, and a lot of them are mixed between Choctaw and French. So like it's like
okay.
But he was known for his wisdom, courage, and since he was a mix of both French, like white and Native American, he had really good diplomatic skills because, you know.
Yeah, he knew how to talk to the savage white people.
Yes. Now.
No, sir. We don't want any of your blankets. We fell for that once.
No,
just once.
Alongside him were the 7 foot tall, 300-pound strongest fuck warriors of, and I don't know if this is pronounced Tubby, but I think it's pronounced Tubby, the Tubby clan. They're big dudes. I don't know if Tubby is the right, but that's Tubbee. Tell me I'm wrong.
I share their history as a Tubby man.
You are not 7 feet tall, though. Let's be
No, unfortunately. I did not inherit that gene, but I did get the Tubby part down pat.
So with the Light Horsemen assembled, also Light Horsemen, all one word. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. They assembled, armed to the teeth and full of what was described as unshakable resolve. They set out onto their mission into the wilderness to put an end to the raids and bring the elusive culprits to justice.
You know, when I was in the Army, we had unshakable resolve. It came in the form of a can, and it was called Boom Boom. All the ingredients were written in Arabic, but there was a silver Mustang on it, and the drink tasted like electricity.
Is that the energy drink?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of I have a few friends who served overseas, and they always talk about the one energy drink over there, and they basically said it was like drinking gasoline, but it made you feel fine.
Yeah, you felt real good. You felt like you were a fighter jet made of biceps. But the problem is, it literally, and I'm not exaggerating. Like people might be like, "Oh,
real quick, can we talk about how you just made a reference to a video from?"
It was real life power thirst. No. That's what Boom Boom was.
No one's gonna get that reference. Like.
No one, but that's fine. I know the reference.
Yeah. Okay.
And the worst part is it's like a deeper cut because it's the second Power Thirst commercial, not the first one.
Yeah. Were the flavors of this energy drink banana, fizz, bitch, and gun?
You Springsteen.
But yeah, so they were basically filled with that, but emotionally and actual willpower, not chemically. Now, as they rode into the forest, they started noticing signs that the raiders are, or at least were, in the area. They found abandoned campsites, the occasional footprint, shit like that. But as they rode deeper into the woods, things started to get a little more ominous. Now, you've been in the forest, right?
Yeah, we've got a couple of those around here.
Yeah, not good. I mean, not great, but good.
Yeah, New Hampshire. New Hampshire is really where I spend my time in the forest.
Yeah, so you know that the forest is usually like bustling. You hear, birds,
animal
insects.
sounds.
Yeah,
animal sounds. Yeah,
yeah. Well, the forest here that was once alive with the sounds of music seemed to grow quiet, as if all the wildlife were aware of something lurking in the woods that these brave warriors weren't aware of. Then suddenly, these brave warriors were overcome by the overwhelming stench of death and decay. Now, their resolve's still strong at this point, and they shotgun another one of your fucking weird energy drinks, and they just press forward.
Yeah, throw another boom boom down the hatch and just get rolling.
Yeah, so after a short while, they come across a small clearing, and also inside this clearing is the source of this horrific smell. I want you to guess what you think it might be.
Boy Scouts.
No.
Like young boys going through puberty, given knives and matches and sent into the forest.
So Lord of the Flies. No, it's not that.
It's like less Lord of the Flies because all of these kids have asthma, but I'm joking, of course, because I was also a Boy Scout and I didn't have asthma, but
you know what's fucked up is that I was a Boy Scout. I had asthma, but there's one thing that we all had. The one thing that
too close to home.
The one thing that everyone in Boy Scouts has in common is that for a majority of them, they were made to join Boy Scouts because their parents said they needed to socialize.
They needed, yep. And I actually rode that train all the way to the end, and I got Eagle.
Yeah, so you were like a junior in high school when you quit the Boy Scouts?
No, I got Eagle Scout. I graduated. I got it. Like I literally turned in my Eagle Scout paperwork right near. It was like 2 days before my 18th birthday. So I was. Yeah,
that's
dude,
why. That's why you joined the army. You're like, I need this structure in my life. I can't. I will become a deviant if I don't.
I'll tell you right now. Had it not been for the Boy Scouts and then later the army, I'd probably be in jail right now. Not because I'm like a destitute criminal. I just keep doing things that are dangerous and mildly illegal.
Gotcha. But anyways, your guess was wrong. Inside this clearing.
They didn't start till 1910. The Boy Scouts were in, anyway.
Yeah, so inside this clearing, strewn about the ground, were the partially eaten remains of dozens of women and children. One source described the scene as, quote, their bodies twisted and broken in a grotesque tableau of violence and savagery, end quote. Now, amongst the carnage were three massive hair-covered creatures crouching over the corpses, faces dripping with blood and viscera. The sight of this horrific scene before the Light Horsemen was so shocking and revolting that for a brief moment, even the bravest among them hesitated, struggling to comprehend the sheer wrongness of the creatures before them.
I've also seen John Belushi without his shirt on, so I get it.
Yeah, but that didn't last long. Their shock gave way to just like pure, unadulterated rage and the urge to avenge those killed by these quote-unquote abominations. The first of the group to engage with the Bigfoot, because this is, by the way, this is the Bigfoot War of 1855 we're about to dive into.
Oh my God. This is amazing.
The first of the group to engage with the Bigfoot was their leader, Joshua LaFleur. So with a fierce cry, he drove his horse forward, drawing both his pistol and his sword. Now, the creature, caught off guard by this sudden attack, didn't have much time to react, so LaFleur just ran right up to him and just started raining blows down with his sword. Now, unfortunately for LaFleur, didn't do much. The creature seemed to just kind of like shrug off the attacks as if they were like just like a mosquito bite.
Right.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, a second Bigfoot lunged and just open hand smashed LaFleur's horse to the ground, killing it in one blow and sending LaFleur down with it. Now, LaFleur, a little shaken, but undeterred, got quickly back up to his feet and looked this sumbitch right in the eyes. He let out a fierce roar and then unloaded his pistol into the creature's chest, just like fucking tearing holes in his
Right.
But apparently Bigfoot are immune to bullets. I don't know, because all it did was just make him mad. And then the creature lunged at LaFleur and then engaged.
So it's like a polar bear.
Yeah, it just engaged him in what was described as hand-to-hand combat.
Oh my God.
Now, here's the thing. This motherfucker just killed a horse with an open palm slap to the face.
Yeah.
I don't know what LaFleur is going to do. But anyways, as LaFleur and the Sasquatch are slap fighting, the Light Horsemen came out of their like shocked stupor, and they finally sprang into action. And they're all armed with 50 caliber buffalo rifles.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we're getting somewhere.
So they took aim at the remaining beast. The men opened fire, blowing what I can only assume are like grapefruit-sized holes into their big, dumb bodies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then one by one, the creatures fell, and the warriors started to feel like a sense of victory. That feeling wouldn't last very long, because to the men's horror, the Bigfoot that was still engaged with LaFleur lunged forward with incredible speed. Its massive jaws clamped down on LaFleur's head and began twisting violently. The men heard a loud crack, and then LaFleur's body fell to the ground. His head was torn completely off.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, not ideal. Now, this obviously made the rest of the Light Horsemen a little upset. Watching your leader get his head bit off by a Sasquatch.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, it would make anyone a little bit angry. So they just unloaded a wave of 50 cal rounds at this thing, just like relentlessly shooting this thing until the beast finally staggered a bit and then fell down dead. Now, the remaining men took a minute to kind of contemplate what the fuck just happened. They kind of stood around in a stunned silence, because these creatures aren't like anything that they had ever encountered or even like heard of before. And they said that even in their death, the creatures, quote, seemed to exude an aura of malevolence, as if their very presence was a violation of the natural order, which is...
Yeah, like the young Republicans.
Yeah. Now, once the men composed themselves, they gathered the remains of their fallen leader and went about burying the dead that had been scattered along the ground.
Right.
And then burning the bodies of the dead Bigfoot on like a massive funeral pyre type thing. I wouldn't call it a funeral pyre because they're not like respecting these people.
Just throwing the corpses on there.
Yeah, they did all that before returning home. Now, in the weeks that followed, the Choctaw Nation dived into a state of mourning, kind of due to the loss of Joshua LaFleur, and then a deep unease due to the fact that they just encountered creatures that seemed to defy all known laws of nature. And this really shook their understanding of the world and also like their place in it.
Yeah.
Even the hardest warriors of the Light Horsemen were deeply affected by their encounter. You can't say. All right.
I got a hard warrior for you.
Even the hardened warriors of the Light Horsemen were deeply affected by their encounter, reporting vivid and terrifying nightmares of the creatures and their encounter with them. That tracks. No, some of the tribe believed that they were some sort of like ancient legend proven real. Others blamed curses or evil spirits for the creature showing up, but they all agreed that, quote, the Bigfoot War, as it came to be known, marked a turning point in the tribe's history, a moment when the veil between the natural and the supernatural had been torn asunder, end quote. So there you have it, Sarge. That is the tale of the Choctaw Bigfoot War of 1855. How you feeling about it? Questions, concerns, comments? Let's talk about this.
This is fucking amazing.
Right? It's so good.
So good. So I need to know though, like where did this story come from? Like, did the Choctaw write this down?
Well, first of all, they didn't write down anything. A lot of this is like, no one knows where it like truly.
Well, I don't mean write it down, but like, is this a Choctaw story? Like, who came up with this?
It's like a Choctaw like legend. Now, whether or not it's based in reality or if it was like a
cautionary tale.
Yeah, because like this was written during, or not written, but like this story takes place during the height of like, it's 20 years after the Trail of Tears, and then you're in Oklahoma. There's that fear, that unknowing of whether or not the white settlers are going to keep encroaching on your land. So I don't know if this is like based on like the fear of the unknown white man coming and like raiding and pillaging your fucking villages, or if it's, if there's more to, just because Bigfoot's in it doesn't mean it's not real.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me,
maybe it wasn't, maybe they weren't fighting Bigfoot. Maybe they were just fighting like 3 Eastern European basketball players.
I mean, anything's possible. But this is, I mean, like, it also could be like an oral tradition that was like, you know, maybe someone saw something in the woods and then it got turned into the Bigfoot War. Who the fuck knows? You know how oral traditions go.
It's incredible. Yeah. Just, it's such a great story. I love the thing that's weird for me though, is that like, the lore that I understand for Bigfoot is that it's just like a 7 or 8 foot tall, like ape creature.
Yeah.
So this Bigfoot would have to be much bigger if it could like open its jaw and bite a guy's head.
Yeah. I don't know. But
what also, did it say what the Choctaw called them?
They didn't have a name for it. I don't think, like, not every Native American culture had a Sasquatch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying like the Choctaw fought these, so
they didn't call them shit.
Assign it. Okay.
Yeah, as far as I
big hairy guys.
Yeah, like the Bigfoot War, like the term Bigfoot obviously came later. Like
right.
It came to be known as that, but I don't think they had like an actual name for the creatures.
Gotcha. Okay.
As far as I know. Again, as I stated at the beginning of this episode, I'm not a deep researcher. You know, I just cross-referenced a couple stories to make sure that it all lined up and then called it good.
I'm somewhat disappointed that the Bigfoot natives didn't like band together to fight white people. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been great. Also, I got to know more about this Tubby clan. If they're 7 feet tall, they got to be like on par with these fucking Bigfoots, man. They should have been the ones, not this half
not the little Frenchman.
Yeah.
Who got demolished.
Oh, he got fucked up. And his horse, too. Goddamn. The Bigfoot War of 1855. I feel like it's a lesser known story. I haven't heard anyone talk about this before, ever, in the history of my cryptid research. This
is the first I've ever heard of it. I've absolutely never heard of it before. So this is fascinating to me. I don't even know if you can consider these things Bigfoot, though, because Bigfoot, you know, it's like a 7-8 foot tall ape man. These things sound like they had to be much bigger.
I don't know, dude. It said that it was a hairy humanoid type thing. It had like the appearance of an ape, kind of, but like the cunning of a human. So I think
but like, how would they have fit a man's head in its teeth?
Well, here's the thing, Sarge. I looked up if Joshua LaFleur even existed. I cannot find a single thing about him at all. So
that's a problem.
Yeah, but the name LaFleur is like a real thing. So I don't know,
you know,
but maybe they don't.
He might have existed if he was just hanging out with the natives. Like they're not, you know, they don't do birth certificates.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Obviously there's no written record of this, or there's no news reports of it. Cause again, it's 1855 and it's a Native American nation that who's going to fucking report. No one gives a shit back then. Like no one's going to write it down.
Agreed.
1855 seems real like recent for something like this to happen and no one talk about it, kind of, but again, we've talked about weirder shit. So is it real? I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not the biggest believer in big feet, so
I very much want it to be real, but I also know it is not. It cannot be.
I mean, the story's awesome.
It's a great story regardless. I don't care. Like, it could be an awesome movie.
I wouldn't. So there is a movie called Bigfoot War, and it is it takes place in recent times. And I haven't seen it.
Liam Neeson's in it.
Looks real bad. Not stoked. I mean, I'll probably end up watching it just because the title's funny.
You know what we need to do is we need to do like a live stream where we watch some of these terrible movies.
I can get behind
and people can just watch along with us.
Yeah, we'd have to find out.
We'll just tell everybody, you know, like 3, 2, 1, press play, and everybody just watches along with us as we tear it apart.
That'd be good. I do enjoy that idea. If you guys want to hear that, let us know. We could.
Yeah. Other podcasts do watch along, so
yeah, we should.
We should do it. It'd be funny.
We'll do a watch along. I think we should do that. It'll be good. Maybe we can do it on Twitch for charity, and like people could donate.
Yeah, every once in a while we'll just do a couple of cryptid watch alongs.
Yeah, because
there's so many,
and there's also some good ones that came out too. Like Frogman's really good. I want to see that.
We can even watch like dumb ones like Anaconda or Congo.
Oh, Congo.
Those are cryptids.
I mean, I guess. I love that the first 5 minutes of Congo is fucking Ash from the Evil Dead gets an eyeball thrown at him. Love that.
Yeah. It's got Tim Curry in it.
Oh, it's Tim Curry, these saucy apes. That's my Tim Curry impression.
Very good. Very good. Well done.
All right, Sarge. That's the end of the episode. Is there anything you want to tell the audience? You want to plug anything?
Yeah. Get my coloring book, sagessupernormal.com. It's $9.99. The proceeds go directly to me because I'm a poor person. It's a lot of fun, and it will help you deal with the existential dread of American politics by coloring in things. So get my coloring book, and you follow us on social media. Sarge the Destroyer. You can find me by that name on many platforms. Or you can just Google Sarge the Destroyer, and you'll find all the socials.
Yeah. And if you're having trouble finding all of his socials, you can follow Cryptid Cocktail on Instagram at Cryptid Cocktail. And there's a link in the bio that has all of his socials in it, all of our socials in it, including TikTok, which is Cryptid Cocktail Party. Please leave us a rating and review. We got a 1-star review, and I'm still very upset about it. And I will find whoever did it, and I will burn your car down. So...
The thing is, we're not mad about the 1-star review. We're mad that there was no comment.
Yeah, I
don't even know what we did wrong.
I'm not mad that we got a 1-star rating. I am mad that they didn't leave a review telling us why. Just let me know.
It's the Bridgewater Triangle guy, I'm sure. Fuck that guy.
All right, Sarge. And with that, would you like to say goodbye and I love you to the audience?
Hey, you guys. I know I say this every episode, but today I mean it. I love you.